Hey guys, Gaming King here, King of the Gamer Kingdom, and greetings fellow adventurers. And I'll make proof Venturals innocent, like I said before. But right now, what's happening is the migswitches, cartridges that you can have multiple games in, are, even though they originally weren't, now they're breaking switches, Switch 2s at least. And I'll put it on the title so you know it says 2, Switch 2, Switch 2. Basically, what's going on is people who paid, most of these people, Redditors and people who actually are popular on YouTube who do the Switch stuff, they paid for the games. They legally put their games onto a MIG cartridge, a cartridge that can have multiple games in one, and the freaking Switch 2 breaks. Or what I heard, it doesn't fully break, but either you can't play your games at all or online. I saw footage you can't play any games period, or you press something that don't work. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I saw some videos, people talking about it, and it's like, wow. And there is other news. So first off, I'll get enough money to get a Switch. I won't get a Switch 2. I'll get a Switch 1 and another Switch 1 that I can mod. I'm going to reassure you guys, okay? So the reason why I'm not getting it, besides the other reasons I mentioned, like I think the previous video, besides the games, I'm not much of a fan of. Like Mario Kart 8, I'm more excited for. I want to get a Switch 1 to play it. I only played it like, I think on like Wii U or something like that. Or I wasn't on the Wii U, but, and then, and one of my friends has on her Switch, and I want to play real bad. The Switch 1 has all the games. Switch 2, you can only play most, not all, games. Switch 1 games you can't play on Switch 2. A few you can't, or most, I don't know. Maybe most you can, but you don't have all the Switch 1 games on there. You can with, obviously, the original Switch 1. So I'm gonna get a Switch 1, I'll get a modded Switch 1 for mod, and then for the online stuff with friends, I'll get another Switch just to play online. And I'll get to news later, but right now I'm just mentioning this real quick. So, and also, I don't want to get a console that's going to break when I want to make memories and have fond memories, and if a power outage happens where everything breaks, and because they can literally break your console, they detect a voltage change, then they'll break it because the power outage, you know, like the voltage obviously freaking messes up, so they'd probably break it thinking you hacked it or whatnot when you didn't. So there's different ways. Basically different ways to get me broken or bricked. So I don't want to do that, and I'm not much excited for the games. Like I said, I prefer playing, you know, I want to get the Switch 1 games, and I'm pretty sure most of the Switch 1 games, either most work but others don't. I want to have all Switch 1 games work, so I'm going to get a Switch 1, 2 Switch 1s. I'm making a comic series. I'll get back to the, you know, console thing. But I'm making a comic series, you know, just cool stuff. So if you guys could tell, I was working on animations, and right now I want to make a comic series of Catropolis Adventures. I'll probably call it Catropolis, just the name of the maybe Catropolis Adventures Comic Edition. That's the name. I'm naming that now. There we go. Then Catropolis Adventures Comic Edition. But basically, it's gonna be a cool thing. You know, just, you know, different animals, mostly cats and mice and rabbits and wolves. So and living together, being cool, stuff like that. You know, and nothing. You know, I'm not a furry. Okay, nothing furry. I'm not a furry. Okay, I'm a veteran. I was a gamer veteran of the Furry War 1 and 2. Okay, I didn't hate furries or anything. I have friends who were furries, but point is, you know, I'm not a furry myself. Okay, this is more of like cartoony type stuff, cute little cartoon animals. This is what I'm doing. Back to Nintendo. Nintendo has $30 skins now, kind of. You know the amiibos that or what I think that's what they're called. Where you put it in there, like with, like with the. And I remember like I think Smash Bros. And other ones, you could actually have the characters unlock them prior to actually, instead of having to fight to unlock them. Like I think Sonic's the hardest one. You could actually just get amiibo, and there's that, which is I guess some. Again, I guess it's not the I mean, it seems cool, but I mean, even back then, it seemed more like a pay-to-win thing. I mean, I guess it was Smash Bros. Competitive online thing anyway. I mean, I guess playing with other players, yes, but and I guess getting it. I don't know. I mean, that's another drama. But modern day, it's changed. So apparently, it's skins now. Like it's just a skin now. Like at least you had Sonic and Mario Maker games, or at least the first one. Second one, he's not even there anymore, and other characters. But the first one, those characters and Sonic were, but now, I guess for Switch 2, there's skins. Like with the new Donkey Kong, it's a skins now. Like you get like some skin that you pay $30 for. You get the figurine, the amiibo. Like I said, there's they're the amiibo, but you don't really get any characters or any special stuff. Just skins. So it's like Fortnite or whatnot. Nothing. It's yeah, it's wow, modern gaming. I mean, yeah, and other companies did the same thing, but Nintendo's doing it too. And Nintendo, didn't they do something similar anyway way back? I mean, and it's like, even if others did it first, Nintendo's is still wrong. Like with microtransactions with other games, like like one does it, it doesn't make it right for others to do it just because that one did it. So Nintendo's not right for doing this, just like others have done it too, like EA. And I mean, EA is old news. I think they're and I think it's what is the new company? I guess most companies are doing it now. It used to be just EA and like DICE or whatever it was, and whoever made Star Wars Battlefront remakes. But now it's actually Battlefield. But now it's different. Now it's just most companies doing the exact same thing EA is doing, and everyone accepts it. But sad state of gaming, am I right? Am I right? It's sad. But basically, so what's happening is, yeah, $30 skins. It's like Halo Infinite. Remember that? Freaking like, no, that was like $20 skins, I think. Anyway, I guess you get a figurine. That's about it. Just a figurine and a skin. At least it meant something back with the Switch 1, I think. And no, or was it just Wii U? I don't know. But I'm too old. I remember Wii U too much. And I didn't hate it. I used to be a big fan. I didn't own it, but I really want to get real bad, and I mean, maybe it's a terrible console. I don't know. I was just a kid and I just wanted to get it real bad. Never did get one. But yeah. So Amiibo, I remember Amiibos working good on the Wii U's, and they had you could actually do some things with them. I think, if I can remember, I think Smash Bros. And Mario Maker 1 you can, with having Sonic and other characters is my favorite Sonic, and having them actually be characters in Mario Maker 1, and I think they actually have their same animations, like spin dashing with Sonic. So amazing. So sadly, nah, not anymore. It's just skins now. You guys like skins? It's just skins now. Amiibos are skins apparently, and figurines and skins. They're like, I guess they're like the Steam cards, like the cartridges, the key cartridges, but they're just figurine form. So at least you have a figurine instead of an empty cartridge. I guess it's an empty figurine. You just have a figurine now. So it's, I mean, I guess if you like figurines, that's cool. $30 though for a figurine and a skin, a tiny figurine with a skin. I mean, and if they did it back then too, then I'm not the biggest fan of that either. But the fact that at least they had more stuff. Unlike now, compared now, so it's sad, but that's gaming. That's gaming. But I mean, it's gonna continue, and I'm more tired and sad, so that's why I sound this way this entire time. Usually, I was more not upbeat, more rage when I made the previous video, or at the very least more hyper. I don't know, stressed. I don't know. But right now, I'm just kind of chill and tired, but I don't know. I feel happy. I don't know why, but I'll get a Switch one. But either way, so yeah. What do you guys want to do now? Anyway, is there any other news I was going to talk about? Maybe I put it in the title. It feels like a live stream when it's not, but yeah. I don't know. I'm just so tired. I feel like I'm going insane. Am I going insane, guys? I'm not some and you guys are gonna probably call me a Nintendo hater. I hate the company, not the games. At least, depending on the games, of course. My parents, my mom and dad grew up with Nintendo, like Mario and stuff. They grew up with a I think my dad owned an N64, or at least played at his friend's house. He wasn't the biggest fan of GoldenEye, but he still played it. He played Super Nintendo, and I think original Nintendo. He played Sega at his friend's house, or owned it, or something like that. Or played in Afghanistan, or something like that, in the base he was in, but the Air Force base. But I know my mom also grew up with Super Nintendo. Or no, I think she just the first Nintendo, or not first. No, I think the first was like I think in most of the 70s or something. I keep forgetting. It's like it's apparently at least like a year ago or two months ago I found out that the Famicom or the Nintendo, apparently Nintendo Entertainment System wasn't the first Nintendo console, but the more you know. And Sega's similar too. Sega's very similar. My ow cat biting my hand. veteran of Rogers Rangers and veteran of Bunker Hill, or Breeze Hill, was what's his name? Eventually led the Second New Jersey Regiment that however many great granddad on my dad's side, dad, etc., was in, which is cool. There was the one guy in Quebec, and who there's a Montgomery, who either led it or something like that, Second New Jersey Regiment, or he did something. He led something in Quebec, and like and he was from Quebec apparently, and half of the force on the American side was actually from that same city, Quebec, or at least the Quebec City or something like that, either Quebec City or just the Quebec region or whatnot. I don't know, whatever it was back then. But eventually they started, he was blasted with a grape shot, and Aaron Burr, that was a acquaintance to my ancestor, who was also in Second New Jersey Regiment. He was trying to, and he later became one of the founders, and he became vice president, and he also was the one who shot Hamilton. And there was something that basically, and then people lied about him and made people hate him or something like that, probably because of Hamilton, who was a spy for I'm not going to say the name of a banker, but a banker had Hamilton as a spy, and so eventually Thomas Jefferson had his vice president Aaron Burr shoot him in a duel for any reason, just make it a reason just to shoot him, and then he won, really really good, really great, but he won the duel, and but basically Aaron Burr, he was an acquaintance. He was in the same battle. He was an acquaintance to my ancestor, which is cool. But I'm not sure if he died or my ancestor died by certain individuals, people who hired Aaron Burr, or not Aaron Burr, Hamilton. Aaron Burr is based, but either way, what do we talk about now? Ancestors. I have the ancestor in the Civil War. He was in the Union originally. What happened? He was with Sherman's March. He was an officer. It was like 40 something, and when he was, for some reason, he was like 40 something and still there. I guess it makes sense. He probably fought in the Mexican American War or something like that. He's and about he was with Sherman's March to the sea, and considering what happened there, the crazy stuff, and eventually he's like, yeah, no, this is just too far, and he realized, yeah, this is crazy, what the heck's going on, and so he joined despite being with like high pensions, whatnot, high paid Union officer, he left to join a Confederate Missouri guerrilla unit, official, of the Confederacy, Confederate States, just to fight Sherman, because he's, he freaking, he was an officer of musician first, and eventually an officer surgeon, or he was an officer who led, surgeons or something like that, and he probably had a deal with the what Sherman's men did, and Sherman bragged about in his own memoirs, and even him and Lincoln bragged about it in his memoirs. It's crazy. So my ancestor because my ancestor was from Ohio, and and sort of Ohio meme. No, I'm not. I made a video actually about like the McDonald's thing, but it was like, what was it? It was like McDonald's. It was like describing my ancestor in the Civil War, but using the McDonald's Burger King thing. There was a meme at the time with the Civil War, but replaced with McDonald's and Burger King. And I guess McDonald's stuff, like McDonald's was portrayed as a union. So I had, talking about my ancestor in the McDonald's sense, or the Burger King sense, like him being like a manager, i.e. officer in union, and then eventually leaving the union and becoming a cashier, in this case a private, and leaving as an officer and becoming a private into the Confederate guerrilla unit thing. So am I crazy? Are people going to use me as an example of Nintendo quote-unquote haters? I mean, I hate the company's evil, but the games are fun. I'm going to get a Switch 1 and a modded Switch 1 for online and stuff. I like games and stuff, childhood. I've been calling the company out as an evil or anything. defending the company for doing bad stuff and trying to, keep people deplatformed or however it goes, get people hated, defamed just because they call out that company. Pretty very suspicious. It's not fair though. So how about this? I'm not some hater. Besides of Nintendo, I like the games. Nintendo games are fun. Mario. I'm not mocking anyone. I just feel like goofing off, but I'm being serious and goofing off at the same time. So, I actually do like Nintendo games, but not the company. I'm just being funny. It's like I'm explaining a joke, but I have to modern day because people don't sometimes, and maybe sometimes the audio makes it sound like I'm being sarcastic or making fun of people, which I'm not. I'm just goofing off with the cat. Cat. Uh. How is this board game, guys? We're not playing chess. What am I doing? I'm tired. I don't know, depression, stuff like that. I feel like talking. This video's prolonged. I imagine how people leave, or just see how crazy I am. Crazy. What am I? I literally could have just ended this so long ago and not have to have this. I could just had a normal video, but as I'm recording, I'm still gonna have this uploaded, at least when I edit it. I'll have some of the stuff I'm saying right now edited, put uploaded, because I don't know why. But why do you tell me? How about this? Go in the comments. Let me know why I'm doing this. Maybe, I don't know. Give a backstory. I don't know. Just tell me why I do this. Tell me why I'm going crazy and I don't know. I maybe just feel like I don't really care anymore, and about being super edity and stuff and trying to be all perfect, and I just feel so broken that it's like, hey, I'm just gonna do something as this. Just I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Just feel like, and I feel lightheaded. I feel like passing out anyway. So I don't know. I'm just crazy. I'm not. I'm tired. I don't know. Oh, why don't you go to sleep? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why? I don't know. I shouldn't prolong this. It's gonna make it worse for editing. I'm not gonna edit much, probably, but still, I'm just tired. I'm tired.